welcome to Birthing My Being. This is another episode of GTV, and this time and space is always designed to connect you back to presence, to remind you of who you truly are, and to inspire you to live in a way that is more harmonious to the desires of your heart. Today, we are going to be looking at the art of acknowledgement and what that means and what that feels like, and how you can apply this to your everyday life. And what do I mean when I say acknowledgement? Let's start there. There's something that happens when we are moving through a painful experience, whether that is a deep state of emotional pain or maybe something physical that is going on in the body, or maybe something that you feel like you're being challenged or struggling with in terms of waiting or your own faith, or the way in which things are unfolding in your relationships. Wherever you might be feeling this sense of disconnect or this sense of this is really hard, this is really challenging, this is really painful. How can this feel easier? How can I move through this faster? How can I release this? How can I step through this pain? Where is this even taking me? In that question and in that exploration, I feel like we are very conditioned to want to escape from pain. It's very natural. We don't want to be in states that are uncomfortable. It's our human condition. And even spiritually, we have began to feel so accustomed to taking the pain and then spiritualizing it. Because if we can at least find some meaning in it, or if we can at least find some way that this is going to evolve you to the next elevated expression of you, then it'll feel a little simpler, or it'll feel a little bit easier, or it'll feel like it might be worth something then. And there's something that happens when we take that process of feeling our own pain or feeling our own emotions and spiritualize it. And what that happens is we actually begin to disconnect from the feeling. We actually begin to separate ourselves from our heart space and from what the experience is trying to surface and pull you into and show you and reveal to you, because we're already focused on the future and we're no longer present with what we are feeling and what we are experiencing. And we've actually left the body. We've actually left the physical experience, and we are now mentally projecting out into, oh, well, this really hurts right now, or this really sucks right now, but at least it's going to get me some cool spiritual reward at the end of it. And I'm not denying the evolution and the journey of shedding layers and transforming and waking up and being more of you. That's what this space is for. This is birthing my being. This is you stepping forward into the light of who you came here to be, into that full expression. I'm not denying the importance of that. What I am speaking into is the power and the art that comes when you can just acknowledge what you are experiencing, period, without worrying about where it is going to take you, or without having to attach some satisfying reward at the end, light at the end of the tunnel. If we can acknowledge what we're feeling, acknowledge what is going on in our life, acknowledge it to the point where we are seeing it, to the point where we feel it. We actually feel what is trying to communicate to us, instead of worrying about, I'm in this deep state of grief right now. I'm in this state of feeling so alone. I'm in this void. I'm in this really uncomfortable place where I just don't feel like myself. Whatever that looks like for you. And that happens. And when that happens, we have that desire to want to come in and soothe ourselves and comfort ourselves, or run or escape or get out of it as fast as we can, because it's our human tendency. It's what the brain wants to do. We want to escape. We want to run from the pain. And what I'm inviting you into through the art of acknowledgement is not something that's going to delay this process. It's not something that is going to make you just melt and bubble and melt into this little bubbly, mushy pool of feelings where you can't get out of it. And you're like, okay, I see it, I feel it, I get it, what's next? It's simply honoring of you and your experience to say, I see you. That was an intentional extended pause. I see you. I see you, grief. And the next follow-up with that is, I'm going to be with you now. Let me be with you. Without trying to kung fu you and drag you along this ride of all of my modalities that I have in my toolbox to make you go away, let me be with you first so that I can hear what it is you're trying to say. Let me be with you, grief. Let me be with you, sadness. Let me be with you, impatience. Let me be with you, anger. Let me be with you, depression. Let me be with you, anxiety. Let me be with you, fear. Let me just be with you. If I could just put down my agenda for 5 minutes even, if I can just release this mental plan that I have for where this experience is supposed to take me, and if I can just be with it and feel it, and perhaps surrender to the idea that I even know where it's trying to take me, or that I can even project into that. Not because it's a dead end, not because I'm hopeless, but because simply the art of me slowing down to acknowledge what's actually surfacing without subscribing it and plugging it into this little formula of now this is the next part of me, this is the next thing that's being healed, this is the next thing that's dying away, this is the next thing. And we put all this language to it, and then we disconnect from the feeling. We disconnect from the being that is actually trying to emerge, that's actually trying to be seen. And it has to get louder and louder and more agonizing and more aggressive and more intense, or recycle and come back up again, because it's just asking for your presence. And there are going to be times, inevitably, there are times when none of the tools that we have, and thank God we have tools, because I'm not dismissing the importance of them or the power in them. I'm simply reminding us and you of the power of you and the power of your own heart and the power of your love that you have to transform your experience, that your being, that your heart, that your soul is begging for, is longing for, is asking for. At the end of the day, when all of the tools and gadgets drop away, what are you left with? You are left with you. And if we don't even know how to be with ourselves in our experience without reaching and seeking and looking for the next thing that's going to hijack us out of the moment, and we can't just be with the pain, we can't just be with it for a moment and really see it without already going, oh, okay, I know how to get rid of this. I know how to clear this. This is going to lead me somewhere. How much of that energy is actually bringing you closer to you? And so this is your invitation to slow down. This is your invitation to come into connection with that pure, raw feeling space. Because there's going to be times when it's going to feel and seem like every resource you have is going to fail you. Every tool you have is going to leave you still in a state of being that you probably don't want to be in. You can't escape yourself at the end of the day. And so there's going to be moments when the feelings linger, when the pain lingers, when the transformation is taking a little bit longer than we would like, a little bit longer than we'd like. It's a little uncomfortable. In true resilience, true resilience is being able to trust that process, is being able to surrender into that and say, I'm not afraid. I'm going to be okay. I'm just feeling right now. I'm literally just feeling. I'm in a state of feeling. And that's okay. And it doesn't have to go anywhere. It doesn't have to, it's not like I'm going to put it on a timer and say, all right, I got 3 hours for this feeling of anxiety to go away. Otherwise, I'm really going to pull out the big shebang, my big protocol, my big box of supplements, my big essential oil kit, and then it's going to be gone. Like, what is that energy? Is that love? Is that healing? Is that grace? Or is that I'm going to fight you, I'm fighting, I'm resisting, and I'm closing down, right? From the true essence of my heart. And so to really simplify this is simply the invitation to slow down and be with your experience before stepping into a state of, I have to heal this and fix this right now. Because in that slowing down, in that acknowledgement of, let me be with me, let me feel you, let me hear you, heart, let me see you, a connection point happens. It's like we connect with our soul. We connect our nervous system in our body to the experience of presence, to the experience of I'm here with you. And that builds and that restores this disconnect and this rupture in this body and this part of you that once was seeking connection, once was seeking love, once was seeking restoration. This part of you that was in that search for you gets to be restored and reunited with you. And that is beautiful. And so if we can just bring more of those moments of the restoration of our heart and our love and our soul to the times when we are in pain and distress and discomfort and nothing is working and it's taking a little bit longer than we would like it to, it doesn't seem so scary. Because we could begin to trust that no matter what, I'm here with me. No matter what, I'm here. And I have resources. I have tools. I have support. I have systems that I know. I have knowledge. I have gifts. I have connection and community. I have so many things. But what's most important is me learning how to be with me. Because nothing can replace that. Nothing can substitute that. And in that process of acknowledging, in that experience of acknowledging your heart, acknowledging your experience, acknowledging you as the one in it without rushing, without hijacking, without trying to get to the next level, and just being with it, you actually collect more of your essence and you're able to bring that back online. Oops, I hit my little mug. Don't want to knock over my tea. And so I want to leave it at that today of just acknowledging. How can we acknowledge more deeply? How can we see ourselves in our experience without worrying about where it's taking us, without worrying about how long it's going to last? How can we just insert this moment and this pause time for you to sit, for you to be with you, for you to acknowledge? There's no rushing of where to go. There's no need to get it away, get it out of you. It's just asking for you. Hey, how can I be with you, heart? How can I hear more of your experience? How can I love you a little deeper? How can I see this pain that's still here, that's still lingering? I see you. I see you. I see you. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I love you. I love you. I love you. How does that feel to the nervous system? To establish that connection point, and take it from there. And from there, we can soothe and comfort and nurture and nourish and heal and calibrate and orient and activate and expand. We can truly expand and grow then from that place of deep presence, reunited with that part that's asking to be with you, so that more of you can travel together, united as one on your journey, on your path. And the nervous system can settle and be soothed in the presence and the comfort of your love. So much love and compassion to you on your path, on your journey, especially in the moments when it feels like nothing's working. Right? Nothing's working. I'm reading about the energies, I'm doing the card pulls, I'm putting on the oils, I'm doing the tapping, I'm diving deep into all of my blueprints and charts, and I'm moving my body and I'm taking my supplements, but nothing's working. How could this be? How could this be? Oh, this is my invitation to just be, to be with me. To be with me more fully, to acknowledge myself, to love myself through this. And trust that it is taking me somewhere. It is taking me somewhere. It is taking me somewhere. And I am right here with you through every step, through every breath, through every moment. And let me establish that connection right here, right now, with my presence, with my love, with my voice. Acknowledge. Acknowledge the heart. Acknowledge the body. Acknowledge the mind. Acknowledge the soul. Acknowledge the pain that is leaving the body and being transmutated. And acknowledge the space that opens without worrying about what's going to fill it next. Sending you all the love and compassion and strength and grace on your journey.